I'm Nigella Hilgarth, and I'm a biologist, environmental advocate, and photographer. I was an academic for a long time, an evolutionary biologist, in fact. And then I became an administrator. For a long time, I was the executive director at the Birch Aquarium here in La Jolla. Then I went to Boston, became the president and CEO of the New England Aquarium. And now I'm a photographer. I'm combining my passion for science and science outreach with the arts, especially photography. I believe visualization is a wonderful way to inspire people to want to learn more, to get connected, to ask questions. I believe beauty is an extremely good way to connect people to science. Now, last summer, I was lucky enough to become the Climate Art Fellow for the Climate Science Alliance here in San Diego. This meant that I had an extraordinary opportunity to document an amazing experiment at Scripps Institution of Oceanography. Now, the National Science Foundation has a center called CASE, and CASE stands for the Center for Aerosol Impacts on the Chemistry of the Environment. I always forget the exact way it goes, but that's correct. And what it means is that these little molecules in our atmosphere called aerosols that we can't see are incredibly important for so many things, particularly in how they impact our climate. And with climate change, even more so. And understanding how that happens with breaking waves in the ocean is still not that well understood. Dr. Kim Prather, who actually runs the center, the CASE Center at Scripps, she put together over 90 people from many different institutions to do a series of experiments called SeaSCAPE, using the hydraulics lab at Scripps, which is a beautiful building with a lovely wooden ceiling in the shape of a wave. And they built a huge wave machine where they could create artificial waves and study aerosols in breaking waves under much more controlled conditions. Now, at first, I started taking photographs of all the scientists and the amazing equipment that they had to capture these molecules and microbes as they came off the breaking waves. But then I realized I actually wanted to show the beauty of what was happening, and I wanted to delve deeper into the science, rather than just show a lot of scientists. So I started off by showcasing the hydraulics lab and the wave tank that really mirrors the hydraulics lab ceiling in its shape. And then I wanted to show a cresting wave in the wave machine because they were beautiful. And in the water in the wave machine, a lot of plankton because the water is taken directly from the ocean. And that eventually begins to grow, all the little organisms, and you get a bloom. And so the water was slightly green and very beautiful. And I wanted to get a cresting wave where you could see underneath the wave scientists at work. So I wanted to include the scientists, but also show the beauty of the wave. And then I show a wave actually crashing when it hits the paddle. And then I wanted to show all the bubbles that are created and how those bubbles are beautiful. But they have gases in them that are thrust up into these bubbles as the wave crashes on the paddle. And there's a sideways view of the bubbles. You can actually see the bubbles rising to the top and breaking. And then I wanted to delve even deeper, so that I collaborated with two of the microbiologists on the experiment to use some of their material and some of their images so that I could actually put microscopic images superimposed on what was happening in the waves. So I started doing this, started showing crystals from seawater and all bacteria and plankton mixed with that, forming really beautiful images superimposed on the breaking waves in the wave machine. And then I wanted to move that further out into the open ocean. So I superimposed images of different sizes, sometimes using images that were extraordinarily small, even showing bacteria and viruses attacking the dying plankton as the bloom begin to disappear. So it feels a little bit like to me, the Serengeti, or if you like, the African plains, with the prey eating rather than the wildebeest, it's eating a dying diatom. And so it may sound a little dramatic, but it's being done on purpose because you want people to ask questions and understand these extraordinary images that come out as a result of that. And I began to superimpose some of these images, including a living bird in the surf on the ocean, for example, to show that these microbes and molecules, these aerosols going up into the atmosphere, are also impacting living things. And I end the series showing a calm ocean, but I have changed the coloring on this picture, and I have made the ocean red because I'm really using that as an indication of a warming ocean. And you'll see this vapor rising up from the ocean. And in fact, what I did is I took a photograph that I'd taken of whale breath in Alaska some time before, and I superimposed the breath of the whale, and that is meant to symbolize the molecules rising even on a hot day from a still ocean. Molecules are actually rising into the atmosphere. And what is that doing to our climate in this time of a warming planet?